Hope you're ready to do some yoga.
I am. Again, this is available live on Instagram right now. I'll put it on the feed on my story or my series of Yoga for Everybody. We do yoga, we move, we pay attention to what's going on. I ended up teaching early this morning and wasn't planning on it, but it was so much fun. But I think the thing that I want to just share with you is I wasn't even planning to get up and go to class because I was tired, so I was going to sleep in. So I didn't even set an alarm. And I woke up about 10 to 5. And the thought came, look at your phone. And so I looked, and there was a message from a teacher that was not doing well. And she'd send it in the middle of the night. And I said, hey, I can take that class. And that's kind of one of the things we're wanting to do in life is have our spirit, our mind, our body. Yoga is not about yoga poses. It's not about what I can do with my body. It's about how I move my body, how I respect my body, how I respect the thoughts that come in, how I keep, I listen. And when we listen and do follow through with some of those things, then we get more. And that's kind of how life works. And so that, to me, is what yoga is that connection. So if you're like, well, then what does that have to do with yoga poses in my body? Okay. This is what it has. As we listen to what our body's doing, as we listen to how we feel, as we listen to, that back is still hurting, or, I know that that's just a muscle ache because I worked yesterday. Maybe it's a shoulder and we lift it too high, yoga is really about paying attention, finding this connection. And so I teach that over and over again, right? I just, please listen to what your body's saying. And if it happens to be that right now isn't, get on your chair and just breathe. If you can't get on a chair, lay on your couch and just breathe. So we're going to start with a little breathing exercise. So go ahead, come to your seat, close your eyes. Remember, when we're in these chairs, this isn't couch potato chair time. This is sitting up on the edge of your seat, trying to lengthen my spine long so that I have this feeling of, you can feel the breath be able to, if you're all slumped down here, go ahead and slump back. Come back and just slump. Now try to take a deep inhale. And it's like you get stuck. So the purpose of sitting up straight and practicing that. Now, if that is difficult for you, okay, I'm going to turn to the side. Grab a block. Buy a block. You're worth it. Okay, they're not that expensive. If you know me and you live close to me, I've got blocks. So I put it right here, right? And then my back doesn't get so tired if the muscles aren't there yet to hold it upright. If you're pregnant, that extra weight tends to do this, okay? As we age, we tend to do this. Find opportunity to do just the opposite. The other thing that I wanted to share about our bodies, when we have this connection, every time that I come here with an open heart, with this, my body is opening, right? And I close my eyes and I take a deep breath. Life doesn't seem so hard, even if I'm doing hard things, okay? Right now, our world is crazy. My granddaughter says it's cray, grandma. It's cray. It is. So as you open this heart, close your eyes, okay? This is a vulnerable place to be. but open yourself to the possibilities, to the things you can do. Now, the opposite of that, and we want to do this as well, is a forward fold. You may have a belly that gets in the way of your forward fold. Just fold over. Whether you've got a pregnant belly or a belly, or maybe you want to just put a block there. When I put a block there, I get a deeper stretch here. This in yoga is a surrender pose. Okay? We surrender to what? I don't like that word. That word sounds kind of scary. It means I'm going to give up my will? What? No. Surrender means I'm going to let go of the things I can't control. And there's a lot of that right now. So fold over, breathing deeply, letting that breath. Now you're like, Debbie, that's really hard to breathe. Maybe it is, but try to breathe into your back. See if you can get the lungs. This is a great exercise. See if you can get the lungs here to expand. Tuck your chin, let your head just hang. Now, if you don't like that block, you're welcome to do this. Maybe you just want to be here. Totally fine. So that's what I mean about listening, okay? Maybe you get over here and you're like, oh my gosh, that is just way too intense on my low back. And come up a little. Maybe you kind of go, oh my gosh, this hurts my neck. So you bring your head up a little. Surrender to the things you can't control, right? All right, here we go. So some of the breathing that we're going to do this morning is going to involve that particular movement. So I wanted to get that. So the inhale, pull those shoulders back, let your heart open, your chest reaches up. The head, the chin can actually reach up. Just open, there's the inhale. And then the exhale is just the opposite. You've already done this. And exhale as long and slow as you can, right? Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then go ahead and stay here. And just inhale and exhale 5 more rounds of breath. Letting that breath expand. Feeling that. Go ahead and, if you can, take your elbows into, you're still breathing, elbows into your knees, right at the top of the knees, the bottom of the thigh. Hands, put them right over your eyes, not pushing into your eyes, but right into the forehead. Close your eyes. We are a visual society. We spend a lot of time with our eyes open, looking. Right now, with your eyes covered, you can't look. Notice if it's difficult, if you go cray, right? Like my granddaughter says, Grandma, it's cray. Does it make you go crazy or does it help you relax? Taking deep breaths. Notice we're still forward folding, so the breath has to go into the back. Beautifully done. Fabulous work. And then go ahead. Walk your hands back, come back. Pause and just notice. Do you feel better for having spent 5 minutes breathing? I hope so. Yeah, okay. Let's get moving. So we're going to start. You notice I don't have the the racquetballs today, okay? I want you to come up as high as you can. Again, you're keeping the knee right above the ankle. You don't want the ankle back here. That's hard on the knees, okay? So come right here, come right up over, and then you're just gonna, that's a sickled ankle. Bring it up, take it the other way. Bring it up, take it this way. We want that movement, okay? But we don't want to work in those places. Then go ahead and bring the heels down and bring them back up. Bring the heels down and bring them back up. This is really good for your feet, for your toes. Try to spread through your toes. Maybe if you do your hands, you can do your toes a little better. I find that sometimes it's hard to do my toes and not have the hands involved. It's okay. Just notice it. You're just bringing the heels down and putting them back up and bringing the heels down and putting them back up. Walk the feet a little bit more forward. Bring the heels up. So here you're trying to get the stretch all along the top. We're going to stretch that in just a minute. Okay, bring it down. And this time, you notice I moved a little forward so that our knees are at that ankle because we're going to push our feet down and try to push them forward. Okay, don't let them. You might have real slippery floor, but notice that as you push forward, can you feel what happens in your rear end? It's like your tailbone tucks under. It's like your legs get working. So we want to push down and forward and then pull back. Hands are on the thighs, top right above the knees. Push, feel those legs get tight. It's like, oh, I'm working muscle. Yeah, we are. And release. Kind of wiggle it out. Push down into the feet. Push them down and forward, right? Holding them there. Lengthen up tall, engaging the legs, engaging the feet. Breathing calmly and smoothly while we feel the burn start in our thighs. Maybe down through the knees, through the ankles, those are calves, but maybe even into the fronts of the ankles. And then release and wiggle through. Beautifully done. Okay, so we're not ready for the block yet. Come. Okay, if you can get to here, I'm just at a right angle. I'm just here. Okay, you're right on the edge of the chair. In fact, if you want, turn to the side like I am here. Okay, push down into that shin. This one is the right angle. Push down and try to just lift up. You'll find this working. Quadricep muscle, the hip flexor, lengthening, pushing down. You're a little bit ski-wumpus unless you've got really long femur bones. And then go ahead and come up. Turn around to the other side. I've been kind of playing with some things, so go ahead and come down. Try not, notice my foot is flat. I'm not curling the toes under, okay? Push down into the shin. It takes me a little ski-wumpus. I'm coming off the chair because being up on the chair is a little higher. So as I push down, I'm trying to bring this hip up as high as this, and that's where you get that length and that stretch through this waistline, through the low abs. So you're just trying to push and lift up in a way. It feels fabulous on the front of the thigh. If we're sitting a ton, this isn't sitting. This is lengthening that muscle, and when we pull in two directions, it's telling that muscle, I want you strong long. I don't want you just strong shortened, okay? And then go ahead and release. We're going to do both of those again, but first come here. Okay, go ahead and come up on your toes. This time I want you to come to the tippy toes and see if you can bend them backwards. Now, I have to tell you, I've had a broken foot and a broken toe, and they don't bend like they used to. That's kind of what bones, scar tissue, arthritis, that may not feel very good. Okay, we're not going to hold it long. If it's sharp pain, don't do it. But if it's just, it doesn't move, Deb, that's what we're doing, is creating movement. Okay, and then go ahead and pick it up, roll through the ankle, and then see if you can flex and bend. Just flex and bend. I'm not carrying any weight. I'm just roll. This knee is not meant to do a ton of circles. This knee is a hinge joint. It's meant to move like this. Plant it back down. Other side. Come up to the tippy toes. Come forward, stretching the toes. Now for me, this fourth toe was the one that broke right down in here. I've got some scar tissue from that break. So I can feel that. I've been massaging it. Okay. Breathing deeply. Yeah. Take another breath and then release and just straighten it. Ankle circles. Sorry, forgot those. What was I thinking? And out we go and back and out and back. Swinging that hinge using the muscles, because we're up in the air, of the thigh. We're stronger than we think, and these thigh muscles are just so fabulous. So let them move and then plant them down. Okay, back to this side. Turn, drop that knee. Okay, hold on to the chair if you feel like you're going to fall off. With this knee on the floor and the foot flat, okay? You can't see that. I keep putting the block in the way. With the phone, you're going to push. You're going to try. You're pushing that shin down, but you're going to try and lift all of this back up so that you're like coming off the floor, even squaring the hips. So it's just this reach. And what ends up happening is because you're reaching down and reaching up, this gets a stretch, and this loves the stretch. You can push into this foot, and it's like, oh, I'm going to try and stand up. Go ahead and take this arm up as well. So that long line over the whole body, and then release. I don't know about you, but I feel that stretch in that thigh. Come back up now and just wiggle around to the other side. Here we come down again. Push right down, find that length, push into that shin, reach up, lengthen up, find that. Yeah, use this foot. Notice I'm still at just a right angle. Push down. Everything's trying to reach away, but my shin is pulling down. And I'm going to hold it long enough that I can start to feel that thigh go, oh my gosh, I'm working, but I'm working in a different manner, right? And then go ahead, hold on, lean back and pick up and come back to center. Okay. So in the chair, I won't lie, the hardest thing to work seated are your hams, those are quadriceps, your hamstrings, and your glutes. They are doable, but we kind of have to do funky little things to get those. But I want you to pause, hands just here on your thighs. Take some deep breaths and notice the tingle through your legs, up into your hips, even maybe into your waistline. That's what starts to happen as we move. That's increased blood flow. It's a fabulous thing. We want that work. Yeah. Okay, so hope you have a strap handy. Again, pretty easy to find these, pretty inexpensive. If you know me, I cut my own and I charge $5 for a 6-foot piece. It's a steal. Okay, we're going to work from shoulders. So about the same hip width, the distance is what your hands are, okay? You're going to just pull them wide and you're just bending the elbows. Notice my elbows aren't here. I'm pulling them down past the body and back up. Now, I don't care if you brush slightly, but it's just slight. It's not so tight that you can't, okay? When you go here, these shoulders want to roll forward. When you pull them back, you want them back the whole time. So this is actually, go ahead and just forward and back. Use your breath. This is the inhale. This is the exhale. So this is very much chaturanga arms. Notice I'm not down here and I'm not up here. I'm just straight out. Pull them back and come back. Now I'm pulling slightly, but not a ton. Pull them back. You should feel that starting to work. And up. Pull them back. We're not releasing and pulling on the strap. We're just keeping that pull. So I'm using my shoulders. I'm using my back. And go ahead and release. Take a little break. Roll through those shoulders. You might go, Debbie, we didn't even warm up and you got us working. I know. It's fabulous what this body can do. And if you find that it's like, oh my gosh, I still need to do some more warm up, then guess what? Don't listen to what I'm saying and you pause. You can watch and you just pause and take a break and roll what you need to, right? So let's just show you kind of a little bit of the roll. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see one particular shoulder, okay? It's a forward, and a back. We want that range of motion to be able to pull. This is the shoulder pulling off the back. This is the shoulder pulling on the back. Okay, this is working the anterior portion of the deltoid muscle. This is working the posterior. When we go up, that's the medial part. The others help, right? They're supporting. So we want to go forward. Now, we don't want to do our chaturangas here, our push-ups with this forward motion. We want the push-ups here so that not only are we strengthening here, but we're strengthening our backs, okay? So the up and down and up and back and maybe a complete circle, go both directions. We want that range of motion, okay? So do both sides. Up and back and forth and up and back, right? Playing, and then forward and back, and then do the whole circle. Oh, and then do the whole circle the other way. So if all you have time for in a day, I bet you could do that, those shoulders while you're driving. Holding onto a steering wheel, just roll. Welcome to my world. If you ever see me on the road, you would laugh because sitting in a car is like death. Because you're sitting in one position, sometimes for hours. And so I'm kind of like doing all this kind of stuff while I'm driving. And you can do it. All right. We're going to do this one again. Okay. So you start holding just right here. You're lifting so that if I lift my fingers are actually kind of right at shoulder height. And then I just pull this a tad bit. I maybe moved it an inch. And now I'm just pulling back and pushing forward. Pull it back. Feel those shoulder blades. Push it forward. Here's the inhale. Here's the exhale. Notice that we learn the pose, we learn what we're doing, and then we come in and use our breath to continue. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Yeah. Inhale and exhale. Pull those shoulders. Elbows aren't wide. Inhale, they're going straight back. I want you to see that from the side. You can relax and rest if you want, or you can keep going if it feels good. There's that little pull. Watch my shoulders. As I pull them back, they don't really change direction. I'm just pulling them back and pushing them forward. I'm holding them back. When we're doing chaturangas on the floor, that's what we want to have happen to our shoulders. And so that's a great place. Now, if you found that that's really hard and you want to practice, against the wall is just fabulous. I don't have it set up where you can really see a good picture, but you just put your hands on the wall and you just lower, keep not here on the elbows, right? Just keeping the elbows, you just kind of push close to the wall and away. Use your breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay. So maybe I should give you some homework. I would try and do that every day. You'll be amazed at the strength. Now, I know most of you aren't bodybuilders, right? You're not out in the gym lifting weights, okay? Lifting our body weight is a good thing. Pushing and pulling against our body weight strengthens our muscles. And so that's one of the things you do in yoga, which is so fabulous, okay? All right, let's get into our hips a little. And then last week we didn't do quite as many sun salutations. So normally we set the block up here. I'd like you to turn it and then turn it. So it's not quite this way flat. It's just a tiny bit off, okay? And this, instead of here, I'm going to see if you can turn your foot out here. And then the knee is going to follow. Yeah. So a lot of you, something like this would be a piece of cake. For a lot of you, that would not be a piece of cake. You can also move it out if the knee bothers at all and get that right angle in the knee. So that's the key. If you get here and it's like, my knee really aches, then move it out. Widen that ankle. Angle, not ankle. I can talk today. Inhale, lengthen. This one's going to want to lay over. Try to keep it straight forward. Inhale. So we're lengthening through the spine. The exhale is a hinge. Okay. Hinge. Inhale. Lengthen and hinge. So one of the things that happens as we age, okay, when we're younger, it's like okay to sit and hold poses. And I still love to do that because of the burn that starts to happen. But if you've got arthritis, if you've got any kind of like nagging type injury in maybe just pain, like my hips have been hurting now, my low back's been hurting, it's been months, okay? Then that's a little bit more chronic than acute. Acute means right now, this is a new injury, right? This kind of movement in and out is the very best thing for old bodies. I happen to have the old body, right? I got that card. Injuries, I've had that card, okay? Arthritis, I don't have that card. Um, Brain just went dead. But any of those kind of things, this is the best way for you to move with your breath in and out of poses. Holding poses is a little more detrimental, very detrimental for arthritis. So you're just really kind of loving on that hip. Yeah. You can feel it. And it's not, hopefully, now, if you've got an injury in that hip, if you've got a torn labrum, if you're waiting for hip surgery, yeah, you might not be able to do this. Okay. So you just breathe in and out. Remember this open and then this surrender. Okay, sometimes inhale, we have no control over the injuries that we have. Sometimes we might have control over them, but we're just clueless. I think that's where I was. Clueless of, oh, that might hurt me because I was so into getting deep into poses, right? Okay, so you're paying attention. So there's an inhale. I want to pay attention. I'm here offering all I have. Om Namah Shivaya. Gurave. Okay, then exhale is kind of a just move back, and it's like a surrender. Okay, I can't maybe change this injury now, but I can work on healing it. So breathe, and then go ahead and release. Bring that leg down. Okay, you're going to turn the knee in and move the foot wide. You should feel a little stretch right there. Notice I'm still at a 90-degree angle. Okay, I'm not pushing that knee towards the floor. I'm more trying to push the outside of my edge of my foot down, and I'm just turning that in. That will give you, yeah, there's some stretch going on right across the top of that hip. Go ahead and come up and come back. This is one of the most healing things you can do. Okay. Yeah, and then release. Move the block. Again, it's not here or here or here, but it's just slightly off so that we can lift up. And instead of here, we're going to turn that leg out. If you need it a little wider away. This is going to try and stay the same. Sit up as tall as you can, and you're just going to lean. Oh, see, this is my sore hip. Now, I have found that, and this is kind of amazing. This goes along with the open up, offering what I have, and the closing, the kind of the surrender to what I have no control over. Right now, with an injury that's been healing, I don't have control over how fast it heals. I wish we did. But at the same time, if you treat it well, it will heal faster. Now, if you've got a tear, if you've got something broken, no, you're probably going to have some repair work done. But after the repair work's done, okay, then there's more of this kind of work. Because then we've got to work with where they've maybe severed muscle, right? And you've got to work on healing that, where there's scar tissue, and we have to work on healing that. So notice we're staying quite a while in this particular pose, doing this, okay? Inhaling and exhaling, finding that inhale. Oh, maybe there's a stretch, and coming out of it, okay? Inhale, Come to your edge. Okay. We're amazing. We have incredible bodies. There is so much going well here. Okay. Versus what's not. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Notice we didn't even do what we call seated pigeon with the leg up here. You don't have to. That's it's a very similar stretch, but it's more intense. So we're just working here, open and back. So even though when I first started, I could feel, oh, there's that twinge, there's that hip, right? But then as I keep moving and as I move gently with my breath, it starts to go, oh, she's paying attention to me. I don't need to just hold and scream. And I can actually, and stop. And this is what happens with, especially with arthritis, is you just start feeling the same thing with MS. Your body starts, oh, there's nothing really harsh going on. Yeah, and then release. Okay, go ahead. Turn, you can wiggle. That's some stretching going on, some work. And then turn, knee down, let that stretch come along the top of the hip, the outside. Bring it back up and bring it down. Pushing down into the outside edge of the foot, which you can't see. And back up and down. And back up and down. Yeah. And back up. One more. Let's hold this one a little bit. Breathe. So notice every inhale, there is a little bit of a lift, a little bit of an offering. Every exhale is like, oh, inhale. Offer, exhale. Surrender. Beautifully done. All right. How are we doing? Okay. Wait, grab your block again. This time squeeze between the thighs. Okay. Come up tall. We're gonna do our basically it's like a half salute. Okay. Inhale, reach the arms up. Now, if you can't get all the way up, just come to where you can. Okay. Inhale, sweep them up. If you can, bend the elbows. You're not clasping hands or doing anything. They're just kind of falling. You'll notice that as you do this, your head tends to lean forward. Totally okay. Go ahead and tuck it and let it get there. And then push your head back into those arms. You're going to feel it right through here. You might feel it in the upper back as well. You might feel it in the lower back. Try to squeeze the block. That's going to help you lift your low belly. And then open, just letting the head opening through the armpits. No other exercise tells us to open our armpits, but that's a little bit of a back bend. And it's an offering. Exhale, fold in and down. Your chest is probably going to hit that block. It's okay. It's going to create a deeper bend right through here. Inhale, come all the way up. Go ahead and bring the arms. Flop the hands. Push the head into the arms. Open. Take a deep inhale once you're there, and then exhale, release the arms and fold in. So notice that we're kind of coming forward and back with our spine. Inhale, one last one. Bring it up, flop the arms. Now, if you're just right here, if all you can lift is here, put your hands on your shoulders and push your shoulders back. Try to feel like your head's pushing into those imaginary arms. They're up there still. Open, and then exhale. You've got it. Beautiful. Nice work. So when you do back work, one of the tendencies we have to do is let our legs go wide to get wider. That actually compresses our spine. So if you can practice in any back work that you do, just put a block between your thighs. Make your thighs hug the block in. What happens is because we're hugging in, something's got to go wide. And if I'm hugging in on this femur bone, it's going to be up here in the hips. And that widening in the hips creates a stretch in the low back and in the sacral area so that you have, I can actually sit up a little taller. So that's one of the reasons we use this, okay? I don't have a regular strap with me today. I've got some over there, but you could actually take this. In fact, see if you can do this. Take it under your thighs. You just hip bone distance. Come up and make a knot. And you don't have to tie it. You can just hold on to it. Push out into it. See, I don't like these as much because you actually can stretch them. What I like is that on these is this regular strap, okay, or a belt, and you push into it, and it doesn't give. It doesn't have the give these straps do. And as you do that, you'll actually feel even more stretch on those legs, and that is actually, if I'm going on a long drive, hang on, I want to show you. I'm pretty sure I have one over there. I usually do. Amazing that I have all these tools, right? I keep a loop. And you don't have to make it really tight, but you want it pretty much hip bone distance, okay? And so when I'm driving, if you've got a belt, totally fine. I push into that. And if you've got one of these handy, you can try this, but as you push out, the thighs stop. They only go so far. If you pull it up here higher, then the knees can go wide. If you pull it lower, okay, but what you're doing is you're creating space up inside the hips. And so when I'm driving, I'm like this. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, it's just fun. And so I'm hoping that if you like notice, if there's something that comes up, we're heading into the holidays, we're heading into yuckier weather where we'll be home more, where we're going to be more sedentary. We might go somewhere for the holidays. Let's get our bodies ready, have the tools that we need and the ideas and the like, oh, I can do this. That's all we have the capability is to take us and do the very best we can with this, with me, to help others, to help myself, to help the world be a better place. There are a lot of things I have no control over, and that's the surrender. Okay. All right. I'm beating it with a dead horse, but I just feel so powerfully of that today. Okay. Here we go. Our sun salutations. You are welcome to use any of these while you do sun salutations, but you can also just sit. Go ahead and inhale the arms up. Exhale, take a hinge. Hands are on the thighs. You're going to curl and round back, tight as you can. Tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone. You'll come back, and then once you kind of get as far back as you can get, go ahead and come forward in the seat and uncurl the spine up. Yeah, inhale, we come up. Exhale, we hinge. Hands on the thighs. Inhale. Exhale, curl it back, tight as you can. And then inhale, unwind, and exhale. Here we go again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You might hold the exhale and push back a little more, and then inhale. And exhale. Let's do 5 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Inhale. Inhale, exhale, last one, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Beautiful work. Let's add some twists, okay? Inhale, take an arm up. That arm's going to come across the body to the outside, okay? This other arm is going to inhale up. You can come here, but the elbow's going back. You can come here. The elbow's going back and you're grabbing the top of the chair. So basically, okay, when I do that, this one comes up and over. That's creating a little bit of a twist. This one would love to just go back like that, but that's not what we're doing. We're coming forward. We're pulling that whole, look how it pulls you open, and then grab hold of the back of the chair. Inhale, exhale, round. Inhale, up, and exhale, round. Inhale, up, and exhale, round. Inhale, up. Ooh, I got a pop in my spine, and exhale, round. Inhale, up, and exhale, round. Inhale, up, and hold. And on this exhale, see if you can just turn your waistline a little bit more. It's not, oh, I'm twisting more, and there I crank my neck. Okay, you get your shoulders, they're working. They're pulling together on my back because I'm sitting up high and because I've taken this shoulder back into that back plane. And I'm holding on to hold it in that position. And then I'm going to just try and turn my waist a little bit more, still sitting up tall, and then without slingshotting, let go. Pause and just notice. Can you feel how the other side of the body is saying, it's my turn? I want to feel that same tingly, wonderful sensation. Our bodies know what we need. Up and over. Hand behind, shoulder and elbow behind, right? Twist. Breathe. Yeah. Inhale up. Exhale, curl. Inhale up. Exhale, curl. Inhale and exhale. Here comes another one. Moving with your breath. Our body is meant to move. There's a Sanskrit word I love called Leela. Means the dance. Yeah, we're dancing when we move with our body. Go ahead and inhale, hold. See if you can just turn your waistline a little bit more. Breathing deeply, holding it, noticing my legs aren't flopping, and then release and come back. Beautifully done. Pause. Notice, ooh, you might need a little forward and back movement after we twist deeply. Okay. Working the whole spine. All right. Okay. So let's get some stretching on our hamstrings. And really, this is the only way I kind of know to do it. To really be able, from a chair. I know lots of ways to do it, but from a chair. So you're going to walk back, bend your knees, and get your bum up. Okay. It's not this. It's not come and I'm here and I'm round. The minute I'm rounded like this, these hamstrings they don't have to work. We still may feel a pull because they're so tight. Okay. So regardless, maybe you need to be up here, but you're bending the knees and you're turning the hips up. Okay. Now, we're not going to let the belly hang, so you're still tightening the waistline and the rib cage. It's like you've got a corset on and the strings are being pulled this way. But I'm not rounding them. If the corset isn't pulling me out of a neutral spine. Okay. So look at my spine. Even if you have to be up here for that because your hamstrings are so tight, my spine is still, I've got a little bit of a cervical curve, I've got a little bit of a lumbar curve, and everything else is working. Okay. Maybe you can stretch it back and get your head between the arms. Okay. You might have that flexibility, but maybe you don't. So we're just stretching, reaching our hips back where they can go. You can walk the feet back further. Make sure your chair doesn't slide. It'll want to do that if it's not a very heavy chair. This is also a very good shoulder stretch, okay? You're pulling the armpits wide and reach, and then you're just going to walk back in. So we can stretch our shoulders very well there. We can stretch our hamstrings, okay? Inhale and exhale. Walk it back. Bend those knees. Find that length. Go to where your shoulders. Maybe you can only do this, but reach the hips back. Find the stretch. And then come back up. And then back we go again. Find that stretch. Let's scoot a little closer to the wall even. Reach, lengthen, come back up. And here we go again. Stretch, lengthen, push, reach, and inhale. And here we go again. Push and stretch. Start to feel the outside of the hips because you're stretching them back. Come back up. That's about 5. Let's do 5 more. The inhale takes us long. Take and hold the breath. Inhale and exhale. And then walk it back in. Inhale and exhale. And then walk it back out. Inhale and exhale. Oh, feel that. Yeah, walk it back in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. A few more. Take it back. Find that reach. Inhale, walking it back. Here we go. Reach. Take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And walk it back in. And last one. Take it back. Stretch. Take an extra breath here. Inhale. Push back even deeper. Inhale. Push even deeper. Inhale. And walk it back in. Beautifully done. Okay. So, you might not. Last week I did the twists from the chair. Today I'm going to do them from the mat on your back. So, if you need help, grab hold of the chair and come to your knees. And from your knees, just swing them over to the side. Just making sure you can see. There we go. Okay. Come on to your back, bent knees. Hands out to the side. Windshield wipers. Feet are hip bone distance to start, and you just drop them. Inhale, they come back up, and exhale. This is one of the most fabulous things you can do for your body, for your spine, as you age, even if you don't age. See if you can, you got the knees going, now see if you can take the head opposite. I want you to picture in your mind what you're doing for your spine. It's like you've got a wash rag and you're wringing it out, and then you open it back up and you wring it the other direction. And the muscles of the spine absolutely love this. And then go ahead and take your feet as wide as your mat. And there's a wider one, that same stretch we've had. And this direction. And inhale up and exhale here. And inhale up and exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Beautifully done. And then go ahead. I should have had you do this. This is poor teaching on my part. Sorry. Grab your strap. We're going to use these on our legs today. Okay. So, sorry that you had to get back up and get those. Okay. Around the foot. Foot goes up into the air. Try to get it flat. Okay. Eventually they stick, but eventually they get to the point where they don't stick as much. Okay. This leg can be bent, but if you can lengthen it out and it's okay on your back, that's fine to do too. Reach up just where your arms can reach, and then you're just going to pull towards the floor with your elbows. You'll get an immediate stretch. I love doing this with these bands. Just wiggle side to side. It is a fabulous, and even maybe a forward and back. Oh, stretching. Try to keep this leg not bent,
but straight, but not locked. Okay, so there's a difference. So it's got a tiny micro bend in it, but I'm pushing my foot up, which is so beautiful. Go ahead and point and flex. Yeah, push up. So as you push up, even though you're pulling down, the pulling down is winning, right? But there's still that push up. There's that opposition that we talked about. Go ahead and release. You're going to take both straps in your left hand or whatever foot is opposite. Let me say that again. Whatever hand is opposite the foot, and then take it across the body. So it's not going out to the side, it's going across. And look, it doesn't move very far. It moved maybe 14 inches. Okay. And then you're going to do the same thing, just a little forward and back. You should feel that up through the hip, maybe up into here, maybe on the inside. So just little, and then forward and back movement. And then let's make a little circle, or maybe like a figure 8. Yeah. Then bend, holding on the strap, just start to bend the knee, pull it to where you can. This hand can come towards the shoulder. It's just a half happy baby. If you need to, this foot can come up. We're just opening through this hip. Okay. If your hand's getting stuck in the way, move it. And then release. Go ahead and just kind of turn it side to side and wiggle. And then change. Now, this isn't always easy to be on your backs, okay? It's a young thing. So I plan on being on my back for a lot more years. Stretch that out, reach up. If you can't, this can be done elsewhere, okay? Pull. Next week we'll do that. I'll show you how to do this seated. I can talk. Seated in a chair. Go ahead and go side to side. And maybe a little forward and back and forward and back. Just finding that range of motion in that leg and celebrating the sensation. So again, I remember getting up in the morning. And this just wasn't very long ago. And it was like, oh my gosh, my whole body aches. I'm so tired. I'm so tight. It's not fair. Okay. Well, there's a couple of things I have no control over. And one is the fact that I'm aging. I don't get to stop that process, right? Go ahead and reach it back up. Both of them, both straps are in the opposite hand to foot. And then take it across the body. And once you get, before you're pulling this down. You might be able to get your elbow on the floor, but you don't have to. You're just pulling down. That's what creates the stretch. And then side to side, forward and back. Anyway, I had the thought, rather than focusing on what you can't do, why don't you focus on the fact that if you work for 30 minutes, it used to be just 10. That's one of the problems. It's like, but it takes me so long. But if I can just do it for 30 minutes and I can actually feel good the rest of the day, I think that's worth it. So the surrender part is I can't control the aging. I can't control the years, the days, the weeks, the months, the time flying by. Okay? But I can control, one, how I think about it, and two, what I do with it. Yeah, beautifully done. Go ahead. Hold it up. Bring up, pull it down. It's a half happy baby. You may not get this very far, and it doesn't need to be very far. And you're just, again, wiggling side to side. If you need to, if that is just way too intense on this top of the thigh, then just bend it. Oh no, gone crazy. That cray-cray world, right? And release. Oh, well done. Let's take a twist. Go ahead and go all the way to one side. Both legs can come to the floor. If you can, I love to take elbow, back of the head and lift my shoulders and twist them back that way. So the rib cage, so I'm really getting another good twist. If that is way too intense for you, don't do it. Okay? Maybe your legs are just here. That's okay too. If you want, you can actually put a pillow or something underneath those. It's not a pillow. How about a pillow? Okay. And then bring them back up. Take them to the other side. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Elbows, back of the head, lift and twist a little deeper. So those kind of actions, the elbows pushing to lift the shoulders, that's an action that as we age, we lose. Okay. Take some deep breaths. So I promise next week, I'll make myself a note as soon as I'm through with this class that next week I'll show you how to do the stretching with the straps seated in a chair. Getting on the floor is just too difficult. Because I know some of you that is a tough thing. Finding that stretch, finding that breath. And then go ahead, slowly come up. That back and forth movement with the spine, maybe all you can do is the windshield wipers. These are fabulous. So I had a student, I want to tell you this really quick. I was so impressed with this. He had some back issues and he worked at his computer. He set a timer on his phone. This has been years ago. So it's one of those first things that was like, I can do that. Set a timer on his phone. And about every hour, he'd get up and get on the floor and do these for 5 minutes. So that's all he'd do. And it was amazing how his back would feel. And he was able to do a lot more, playing tennis, enjoying his grandkids. And he did, I want to say he started this like he was 68 or 70. So he can't control we can't control the past that we were unaware of, even the times when it was like, I could have done more. We can't go back and fix that. We can only move from this way forward. So as you work, please just find opportunities to tell yourself, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening to what my body's saying. I'm listening to what my mind is trying to tell me about my body. And what my spirit is informing my mind. Hey, you need this. Have a wonderful day, a marvelous week. Go ahead and stay here. You're welcome to just move the feet wider and knock the knees and just stay right here. Breathing deeply. Let everything go into Shavasana. If you want, and you can, you totally let the legs go long. If you're pregnant, you're over on your side. And I'll use the block here, but you can put something between your legs. If this feels a lot better than on your back, then you're here. You're listening. The inhale is I am, the exhale is listening. The inhale is I am, the exhale is listening. The inhale is I am, the exhale is listening. Take a few more breaths. I'm going to leave you here. We're going to lose Instagram in just a minute. Have a marvelous day, a wonderful weekend. Remember, inhale, I'm offering, and the exhale is a surrender. The inhale, I am. The exhale, listening. Have a wonderful day. The good, the great, the divine within me recognizes the good, the great, the divine within each one.